with business leaders from BEI Advisors. They're going to be discussing entrepreneurship, leadership, financial clarity, faith, and helping companies build healthier, stronger organizations, as well as our very own Joel Prickett. He is Arizona Western College softball head coach, and he's going to be talking about the Lady Matadors and their reign in championship and their World Series appearance and more. You're going to find out all about the Lady Mads. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget, you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Citrine Law, LLC, a Yuma law firm practicing criminal defense, DUI defense, and personal injury law. Information is at citrinelaw.com.
Chili from Philly. Unique Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma?
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny Porter.
And I am Mandy Tuss.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I took the past 2 days off. So shout out to Victor and Alex who filled in for me. So I'm a little bit of a mess this morning. So our next guest is not the head coach. We will have 2 softball players, though, from the Lady Matadors. They're going to be coming up. But thank you guys for filling in. I had a lot to do. Still got a lot to do with our new office and everything. You know about it, Mandy, right?
Yes, I do. Our fancy schmancy new office.
Yeah. So, a lot to do. So I was able to catch up on that. So I just want to say thank you to Victor and Alex for filling in. And with that, who do we have today, Mandy? And thank you for being here too as well. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I love to be here. Thank you for having me back on. We're here with 2 of the coolest and best business advisors Yuma has to offer, Miss Karen Gill and Miss Ana Fontanes.
Yeah, it's good morning. Can you guys get super close to the mic? Yeah, there we go. All right. And you too, Mandy, if you want to bring it a little bit closer.
Here we go.
Yeah, you could position
Perfect.
that. Good to go. All right. So on this show, we like to get to know our guests before we get into anything. And so, Karen, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Yuma.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
You're a Yuma native.
I'm a Yuma,
I like that. All right. And so is Gill maiden name or married name?
Gill is my married name. My maiden name is Alan.
Okay.
So I went to Kofa High School.
Shout out to the Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what schools did you go to before that?
Gila Vista Junior High.
The good ones. All right.
Yeah.
You're on a roll right now with me.
Yeah. Oh, good.
What before? One more?
So before that, through 6th grade, we lived in Levine, which is right outside of Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
And then...
Well, you got 2 of them right. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So, okay, you grew up in Yuma. What was it like for you growing up here?
It was great. I mean, I love it that you could do things year-round. You know, I like to run outside. Played all kinds of sports, super active in the community, everything we did, 4-H, FFA.
So you did all of those, the 4-H, the FFA, you were a part of those clubs?
Everything, yes.
Okay. Yeah. And what was that, like a family thing, or was that something that you said, I really want to do this, or a little bit of both?
It was definitely both. Like,
Okay.
It was a passion of mine, but also our family was just always very involved in the community. Leadership opportunities, church service. It's just the way I was brought up. So
I love it. Her roots are deep. Her roots are deep here in Yuma, and I love that.
Yeah. So you have that, and I know that teaches responsibility, a little bit about a business already. So when you were younger, did that get the wheels turning about business? Is because you're an advisor now and you help people with this. So is that something early on, or did you have a different career path before this?
Oh, I mean, I was always entrepreneurial. Even when I was a little kid, I remember in grade school, I figured out that some friends of ours lived in this neighborhood, and the ice cream truck came through their neighborhood, and so she could buy these like giant suckers for $1. And so I bought them from her for 50 cents, and I sold them to the other classmates for $1.
What?
Yeah, I was in like 3rd grade.
3rd grade,
Yeah.
you were doing this. So,
Yes.
okay, I have a similar story, but I grew up in the hood, and so it was a little bit. Unfortunately, we would steal from the Circle K and sell it at the school. But I was 2nd grade, so
Family
statutes
radio.
of
This is family radio.
yeah. But no. So that's part of you. You figured that out. Like, what gave you the gumption to do that? Like, I'm going to try this, see if it works.
Yeah, I don't know. I just figured, you know, there was margin in it for everybody. I could have a distribution service. The kids at school were happy because they got resources that they wanted to have.
I love that you're using big words for like you'd be back in like third grade, like you're like resources and actually supply and demand.
And marketing, exactly. Yeah.
So then did you become known as like the hookup, the plug to get that stuff?
I mean, for certain things, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I guess it's all kind of the same. You have relationships and yeah.
So you started building these relationships early, starting to understand, like you said, like you're going to mark it up. You figured out your how to get the resources and distribute them through, you know, to right people. And then we were talking off air about we do business with people that we like and that we get to know and kind of care about. So you learned that a little bit early on?
Yeah, I mean, people have to trust you. You know, even third graders don't want to hand you their dollar. It's hard earned.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, of course, they had to pay me up front because I didn't have any capital. So they would pay me, and then I would source the suckers. Yeah.
Wait a minute. So that's an extra special skill that you would get the money up front, and then they trusted you that you were going to come through.
Yes, but then after a while, after I sold a number and I had a little bit of cash, then I would buy them ahead of time because then I could sell more, you know, higher volume. But initially I was limited by my third grader capital. Yeah.
Now, did you ever get in trouble doing it? Was the teachers ever like, hey, Karen?
I didn't, but the market kind of got saturated after a while and kids kind of got bored with the suckers.
So wait a minute, saturated. Did other people try to do what you're doing?
No, I think they just like got tired of having the suckers. So I learned real quick about like fads.
Okay. So then you'd have to go up to something else, like something a little bit harder to get if you wanted to keep that going.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything that was like a good enough margin. That, you know, everything else, like ice cream melts.
It melts. Yeah, we can't do ice cream.
Yeah, so I don't know, but yeah, eventually that business kind of died out. So.
Yeah, well, you started your first business early. You failed, but part of failing is, you know, you learn from it, right?
Yes, yeah.
And so that's cool that you got it out of the way very quickly in life.
Yes.
You already got that. Now, did you go to school for business?
Yeah, so I've had an ag economics degree and my MBA, but I've also started a number of businesses along the way. Like early on, I started when eBay was, you know, more new than it is today. I started buying like whole boxes of books. They're called lots of books, and then reselling them on eBay. That was probably the first like official.
So that was your first business.
Yeah, like a reseller business.
So after the suckers, then you go into books at eBay. Now, in that time, you're going to school for, you said ag?
At that time, I had graduated with my bachelor's degree, so I was just young and looking for an opportunity to do something. But it was a lot of work for very low margins, so I kind of put that aside.
Like, tell me about the ag part real quick.
Yeah, so I grew up in a farm family. We actually sold our farm in Levine to move to Yuma, and so we farmed here. And we still have the farm here today. And then since I grew up in ag, that's always been a passion of mine. When I graduated with my bachelor's, I ended up working in the banking industry, doing a lot of ag lending. And then through that ag lending, became a consultant to banks. What had happened is I built this whole rubric for analyzing risks in business so that you could really tell what businesses were going to be successful and what were not. It worked on the commercial side, but also especially on the ag space. And so different banks recognized that this matrix was fairly accurate.
And you said you created this. I don't even know what that looks like. I'm trying to picture that in my head. I'm just seeing those green things from Matrix. They go down. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, but you created this and people started to take notice, you said.
Yeah, what happened is I built it before I went on maternity leave with one of my kids. And when I came back 12 weeks later, like all of the things I had anticipate may happen with those particular credits were happening. And so it ended up being even more accurate than I thought it would be.
Wow.
And then because of that, because it can analyze risk and you can preemptively protect yourself as a bank or help the borrower take action so that they avoid any sort of potential loss.
Wow, very cool. So then you're doing that, and then you say your entrepreneur spirit, you went to eBay, bought books, and sold them. My sister does something similar with dolls. Like she fixes them and sells them. She gets them on eBay and then puts them back up after restoring them and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're doing that. And then after that one, you said the margins aren't that good. What'd you do next?
So the next, because I was always like working and had like a side fun
That's
project.
your side hustle.
So yeah, so while I was doing consulting for banking institutions for a number of years, what would happen is back in 2008, there was a banking crisis. I'm sure you remember, and a lot of community banks would get issued what's called an MOU, a memorandum of understanding, and that just means that the FDIC was saying, hey, you guys got to come in and clean up your capital position and the risk in your portfolio. So I started doing consulting to banks where I was a liaison between the FDIC and the banking institutions, and then just kind of coached up the bank leadership team and helped them build up capital in order to strengthen both their financial position and the risk that they had. So that was a big passion of mine that I did for many, many years. While I was doing that, I started some other businesses which were educational focused for my kids. In Wisconsin, you can homeschool your kids, but you can have somebody help as well. So I was able to work and homeschool our kids. And one of my children had a very like visual, tactile learning style. And when I realized that, they have these things called lap books, which are kind of like it's almost like origami, like ways to fold paper, but the paper itself has educational material on it. And as you like unfold and fold it, it cements what the child is learning. And so it's kind of like a homemade pop-up book. And education leaders use these all the time, but there wasn't one that was really geared to what my kids were learning. So I decided to make some just to help my son, and they really took off. So like immediately I replaced my full-time income with this lap book business.
So you created the whole business off of that. So you saw a need, you met the need with your own child. You saw like, hey, wait a minute, these work well, because I get it. I'm very tactile as well. So you put that, because that actually, the neurons work differently once you're actually holding something.
Yes.
And you put two and two together because you actually have something physically in front of you. And you started your first business, like and you said you replaced your income with this business.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. It took off really, really fast. I had already had a blog that was published globally, which is a whole nother story I won't get into. And because of that, I had like an access into a network. Yeah. And this was back when online retail was like brand new. So PayPal was brand new and people weren't even used to like buying things online. But I set up a PayPal link and sure enough, started making sales faster than I could even respond, like, because the transaction would process through PayPal and then you have to send a download link. And at that time, all of this is new. So I had to like physically sit behind my computer and send it.
You had to be there,
Yeah, but we didn't expect it to take off so quickly. So for like 3 days, I couldn't leave the house. And then I found this company that would monitor the PayPal transaction and automatically send the files.
So another company that said, there's a need out there, we're going to meet this need. And then they grew and they created something that made it so you don't have to sit at your computer desk for 3 days straight.
Exactly, yes. So that was groundbreaking. It was $5 a month for this fee for me to leave my desk.
Well worth it. You could go out, you know, it's like, oh, that's what the sun looks like.
Yeah.
So Ana, where are you from originally?
I'm from San Diego.
From San Diego.
Yeah.
So when you were younger, was this a business and finance? Was that something that kind of sparked your interest?
I kind of have a similar story. But
what were you
did
selling in
trouble.
third grade?
I was selling Mexican candy. So
my favorite. I would get the Lucas and like the Soliditos, and my mouth is watering right now.
The Chaca, the whole thing. So we lived in Chula Vista, and so we had a 7-Eleven there, and 7-Eleven sold the candy so expensive, and I would go to Tijuana, buy it in bulk, and then sell it in the playground. But I got my honor star taken away because I was selling it in the playground.
So wait a minute.
Yeah, I got in
this
trouble.
institution that's supposed to help us and create entrepreneurs and people go out in business, and they said they're going to take your star away.
They took it away.
They took it away. My
so
goodness.
I wasn't allowed to sell anymore. No, we lived in an apartment complex, and so I had set up like a little stand, and so the kids would come around. I did flyers, and so I would go to all the little homes and like put my flyer and my apartment number, so the kids would come and just buy it at the house.
And how old are you at this point?
Oh my goodness, I was not in 5th grade yet, so 8.
So you're 8 or 9 years old, around there.
Yeah.
You figured this out. Same thing. So was there a point where it's like it got oversaturated for you? What happened?
Well, from there, then I just got older and we moved.
Oh,
so,
okay.
You know, so yeah, it just kind of died down.
Is this also like an entrepreneurial spirit type thing, or was it more of like a I want to help my family type thing? Like, where did that root from?
I think that's a good question. I think it was probably more entrepreneurial, just to kind of have money, just to kind of have money to go buy myself candy if I wanted to, or go buy. I liked purses. My mom would make fun of me because she wanted me to buy dolls, but we would go, to Pick and Save or whatever, and I always went straight to the purses. So I think I just wanted to buy myself a purse.
Was it like a fashion thing? Did you like fashion?
You don't know? Probably. Yeah, I don't know. I just like the bags that had all the little compartments and zippers, and so it's just, that was my goal.
So then,
bag.
What'd you go to school for?
I went to school for business.
Business, okay.
Administration.
So straight to business. You said you got a knack for this. You're selling Lucas and Soleritos or whatever, all these things. And you knew right away, like even, did you do 4-H or anything like that, or any business stuff in high school?
I was involved in the Hispanic business programs at San Diego State, and I was also in the Italian kind of clubs because I did a study abroad program in Rome. And so I did a minor in Italian, and then I got my business degree.
So cool.
And so you knew business was for you.
Yeah. I knew business was for me, but I didn't know in what capacity. I didn't grow up around business. I didn't grow up around business environment. Like, neither of my parents went to college. I wasn't around kind of that mindset. So to be honest, I wish I would have had more guidance, because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just figured everybody would always tell me that I was good with numbers, and I liked algebra. It came easy to me. So I just went that route, but not really knowing what I was going to do with it.
So tell me why you say you wish you had like the guidance. Like, do you feel like you could have got there quicker, or done something else? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely feel I would have gotten there quicker and not wasted time. I started with an accounting degree, and at San Diego State at the time, I don't know if they still do, they had a 6-credit accounting class, and I got a C. And that devastated me that I got a C. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to be good at this. And so then I changed my major to business administration management, which that's the part that I feel, had I gotten some guidance, I wouldn't have done that, because that's so general.
You wouldn't have made that switch.
I wouldn't have made that switch. Yeah. I would have stayed with accounting, or I would have moved to finance or economics. But I didn't know any better,
So did you do the entrepreneurial thing after you graduated? Is that part of your path?
My story. So from there, I did a study abroad program in Rome, and that opened my eyes to a world living in Chula Vista that I had never experienced. And so from there, I decided, when I came back, I had one more year left at San Diego State. And that year, I had stopped in New York City on my way back. I had a cousin living there, and I was 4 days in New York, and I fell in love with New York City because it was very European. Yeah. So I loved it. So I just made it a goal to move back. And so when I was looking for a program, I wanted something international in nature, but I didn't really know what, just want to do something international. So, and then there's kind of a God factor involved in this, because what God had done for me to even get to Rome was a total God story. So by the time I came back, I was like, God, I can't afford the expensive schools. I can't afford the cheap ones. So I didn't even look at prices. I just looked for the program that caught my attention. And I found a program that I found a school that had a program with the United Nations. And it was in South Orange, New Jersey, St. Paul University. And it was a diplomacy international relations program. So I applied for that, got in. And again, didn't know what I was going to do, but through that, I went to Milan, and I worked at the U.S. consulate. I got an internship. And so my goal was to work for the State Department. And so I did a lot of things in the East Coast that was kind of with the State Department, and then that experience kind of opened my eyes to that world. And so, came back, got a job with a nonprofit in New York. And he spoke fluent Portuguese, and we did a lot of, this is like in the beginning of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, like early on, when the Kyoto Protocol had first been signed, like early on. And so we were doing projects in the northeastern arid part of Brazil, and we were getting funding from Italy and the United Nations and different parts of Europe. And so my connection to Italy and speaking fluent Italian, and then his connection and speaking fluent Portuguese, we kind of came together. He hired me, and we got that's kind of what started that rolling. And I did that for a few years, and then moved back to Rome. I went to Rome to open up an office for them. I was there for 3 months. They were going to name me the director so that I can get a work visa. but he never got more funding. And so after 3 months, I ended up coming back. And then that's actually when God spoke to me and told me about helping my youth pastor start a church in Chula Vista. So I ended up moving back to my parents' house at 30 and, earning $400 a month. So I took a completely different, I felt like I was going backwards.
So because you heard this voice, God saying that, okay, I want you to do this, even though you've accomplished all these things and you're used to, I'm pretty sure you made decent amount of money while doing this. You said, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Because I got to a point where I just realized I had a friend from London, a friend from New York, and a friend from Montenegro all call me and say, hey, I heard you left New York, you're in San Diego, you're in transition. And they all offered me jobs. And it was very tempting, but I knew in my heart so strongly that it was like God was telling me to do this.
Wow.
So I did it, and that's a whole other story.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take a break, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you ended up here and what you're doing now. We're going to do that. So thank you for both of you for letting me dive into a little bit of the history and find out more right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
What's Up Yuma Radio is sponsored in part by Nova Home Loans, serving Yuma County and nearby communities. Nova Home Loans offers residential lending services, including home loans and refinancing. They are also proud supporters of local community efforts and organizations. More information is available at novahomeloansyuma.com.
You are tuned to 94.7 FM KOFA Border Radio. I'm Cecilia Holland Braithwaite from the KAWC Newsroom. We're heading into another sunny day in Yuma with an afternoon high near 97 degrees. Winds are calm, less than 5 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight with a low around 65 degrees. Walmart will likely put its tariff refunds toward lowering store prices, executives said today as they described shoppers who are increasingly anxious about the rising cost of fuel. This top NPR news story can be found at kawc.org/NPR-news.
The KAWC Student Newsroom is funded by the local news initiative at the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, the Scripps Howard Fund, and by generous local support. Thank you for supporting the next generation of public media. Learn more about the project and hear stories from emerging journalists at kawc.org/student newsroom.
I use KAWC almost on a daily basis in my car. It's the background for chores around my house. And I go to the website and look for stories that are of interest, and I listen to podcasts. I look to the news on NPR because I'm looking for something beyond the headline or a soundbite or a gotcha moment. I really want news that shows me sort of the multiple dimensions of a story, that seeks information from multiple sources and doesn't tell me how to think. It just presents the issues, and I really appreciate that. Being a sustaining member of a service like KAWC takes the mystery out of it for me. So I know that I am supporting every month. I also know that I don't have to remember to sit down and write a check at the end of the year or a budget for a check at the end of the year, right? It's kind of coming out of my account every month, and that makes me feel a little bit like I'm part of the team. I'm Lori Stoft from Arizona Western College, and I'm a proud supporter of KAWC Yuma.
Temperatures will gradually warm as we approach the weekend, with lower desert highs reaching the upper 90s to near 100 degrees. Today in Yuma, Parker, and Quartzsite, we expect an afternoon high of 97 degrees. Winds are calm, becoming south at 5 miles per hour tonight. Clear skies with a low of 65 degrees.
For over 55 years, Border Radio KOFA has been a voice for music and culture in the region. We play indie, soul, funk, world beats, and more, plus local stories and live sessions. Tune in live at 94.7 FM, on demand at borderradioaz.org or on the KOFA app and discover your next favorite song.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. Mandy, what's my name?
Johnny Porter.
Okay, cool. I was tripping for a minute. I'm like, wait a minute, who am I? No, we're going to get back to this. Yeah, exactly. So Anna, I want to kind of get back into your story because you said you stopped. You're going to listen to God. You're going to go do this, and you said you're going to make just a fraction of what you're used to making. But that led you to, you said, Chosen Foods?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I basically had to downsize my life in order to obey God. Moved back with my parents, was earning $400 a month. And I did that for a few years, working part-time. But I got to a place in my heart where I literally remember the day I'm driving to the church office, which was in their home. And I was so happy. I was so content. And looking back now, I realized that God was building something in me to where my identity, my foundation was in just knowing that I was in His will. Didn't matter what it looked like on the outside.
So that gave you a sense of confidence, something that's like
1,000%.
supernatural, something that you maybe can't explain to other people, but you felt it.
Yeah. And so then after a few years of that, one night I just felt like the green light of to get a part-time job. And I was praying about it and I just felt it was time. So I went to Starbucks the next morning in Imperial Beach, sat down. I put out like, I don't know, 30, 50 resumes out there. But I remember praying and saying, God, I don't feel like dealing with a whole bunch of interviews. Just bring the right one.
Yeah.
And no joke, only one person called me back. His name was George Todd, and he had just started a company in San Diego called Chosen Foods. And it was, at the time, it wasn't just avocado oil. It was avocado oil and moringa powder and all these other chia seeds and all these other things. And he was looking for a part-time bookkeeper that he could trust, because the lady that was there, she was full-time, but they couldn't afford her. And I was looking for part-time, so it was perfect. So I went in, had a 2-hour interview, got the job, and then I was with them for 10 years, and that basically led to my career path, because I learned with them. You know, I started off as a part-time bookkeeper. It was obviously a fast-growing company. We ranked 47 on the Inc. 500 list. I wore every single hat imaginable. You know, it's a startup. And the office that we had at the time was in the really bad part of National City. My desk had a button that if I pressed it, the police would arrive. Like, that's the area we were in. And then from there, we moved to a nicer building. But that was kind of, and I did that in conjunction with still working at the church. So it was funny because I had a dream during, like, early on working there, where I was climbing these high rises and I was running with 2 men, and I was climbing. We were doing a marathon, but instead of running the street, we were climbing buildings. And it's a very detailed dream, but I'm not going to get into that. But the thing that what God really spoke to me about was, don't be lured of climbing the corporate ladder, or you'll miss what I called you to do.
Wow.
And so then a few weeks after I had that dream, he calls me into the office and he asks me, he says, hey, we're going really, really fast. I need you full time. But I still had my commitment at the church. And at that time, they had also ordained me, and I was preaching at the church. I was teaching. I was doing other stuff. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, I can't, you know? And so I thought he was going to fire me, and he ended up just working with me. So I was working probably 12, 15-hour days, 3 days a week. And I did that for several years. They let me do that for several years. And then eventually, you know, this died down at the church. Like, there was a transition there where, you know, other stuff, but that was a transition. And then I just kind of went full time. And then I went back to school. I got an MBA while I was at Chosen Foods, because the company was growing so fast. I felt that it was outgrowing me. And so I was like, okay, this is either going to outgrow me, or I need to learn. So I went back to school, and I got an MBA at San Diego State, an MBA degree. So.
Okay. Yeah. And so at Chosen Foods, is this where you became, and what's the word? It's CFO, but there's a word in front of it. Fractional.
Yeah.
Fractional.
Yeah.
Is that where you became a fractional CFO?
I did. Yeah. I mean, I did the work of,
or maybe wore that hat, as you put it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
So by the time I left, we were at over $200 million, and I was overseeing Canada, U.S., Mexico operations that we had to consolidate. And I was overseeing finance, tax, accounting, treasury, and risk management.
So tell me what a fractional CFO does.
So basically the work of a CFO, but you don't pay full time to have somebody there full time. And so they give you the oversight, the guidance, the strategy, you know, work with your team. And so it's more of a fractional work where you just bring them in, you know, on a part-time basis.
And so did you enjoy that part? Was that something that really got you going? You know, you felt comfortable doing that? You said you like algebra, which is weird, but people do like it, and I'm glad people like it. So when you're there, is it like, okay, yeah, I'm working working with numbers, but you're also working with people, right?
Yeah. I think the one most valuable thing is really learning how to work with people. I mean, that's really the biggest skill, is learning how to work with people, getting people motivated, having, just talking to people, communicating. Yeah.
So is that, even though you're part-time, is that still like because I know what a CFO is, right? So, but part-time, you're a leadership and you're part-time, right?
Yeah.
So you do have to not only work with people, but you're also a little bit of a boss and have to tell people what to do?
Well, I mean, in this role, they're paying you to help them. Right. So at the end of the day, I think it's a little bit easier because they're paying you to help them, versus when you're employed and you guys have, I think that's a kind of a different dynamic. But you also, I've also had experiences with people who are paying me to help them, but yet they're so set in their ways that it's difficult for them to receive the help.
Because give me a situation, something, because you would say hey, this isn't trending the right way, maybe, so we should do this, which there's type A CEOs that would say, well, this is my company, this is what I want to do. But you're looking at numbers, you're looking at patterns, and you have to go and tell them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the numbers tell a story. That's one of the things I love about FP&A, financial planning and analysis, is that, there's a lot of, especially small business owners, they don't really know the difference. And so you're so focused on accounting, which is you have your accounting, you have your bookkeeper, you have your CPA, and your CPA is there to guide you and keep you, in compliance, which is great, and you need that. But FP&A is the fun part. That's the part that gets all those numbers, and it tells you the story behind the numbers. So how are you doing? How is it trending? Comparison to last year, comparison to your budget, comparison to the last 12 months. And so that's the part that I enjoy in FP&A and in consulting, is really extracting the data, the analysis, and providing that story for the business owner.
Yeah.
It's also more strategic because, accounting tells you what happened.
Yeah.
FP&A is you look at the history of maybe what happened in the past, but you're using it for future business decisions.
Yes.
So you're able to influence what happened on the accounting side by making smart decisions going forward.
So in my personal experience, the gentleman that handles all my stuff, Yuma Tax Group, I was introduced to him, and he would just solve problems. And so I'm thinking this is what all accountants do, and people that do taxes, they help you solve problems in your business. And I found out the only reason why he was doing that, because he used to be a fractional CFO for Motorola or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he spent all these years doing it. And so he brought that to the table.
Yeah.
So I was accustomed to this type of a service.
Yeah.
When he would come in. He would look at these, and then I would talk to other people. I was like, your accounting guy doesn't do this for you? And they were like, no, he just says, where's your W-2 or your, this and that. And that leaves you. And I'm like, wait a minute. And so thankfully now he's my business partner, and we're doing business together. But that kind of service is very valuable, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and the other delineation for fractional CFO is it's not just that it's part-time. It's that, a lot of companies could really use the high skills of a CFO, but they either can't afford to pay a CFO full-time, or they really don't have the capacity at the level of business they're in to keep a CFO around full-time. They can only make changes so fast in the business. And so a fractional CFO really allows, Ana can partner with multiple companies in a capacity that they are comfortable with, both financially and just their ability to affect change. And then those companies get this higher quality of service and advisorship that they normally couldn't have access to. So it kind of benefits everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think part of it too is one of the biggest challenges is the culture that is created in a company. And I think that's where our skill set, just complements, because on the business strategy side, that's working a lot with the culture and just really helping to shift the culture that's there that maybe hasn't allowed the change, the transition, the honesty of bringing certain issues to the table. You know what I mean? That just people haven't been allowed to talk about. And so that's where, in order to influence change on my side, there has to be an influence on the culture side too, a shift.
So tell everybody where you both are at now in your particular roles.
Yeah, so we own BEI Advisors, and we focus on we have a framework called the Better Built Business Framework, and we do leadership advisory work, kind of like what Anna was referring to on the strategy side, but also just building cohesive leadership teams that are really able to execute well. Many times leadership teams kind of circle the wagons. You know, you meet in meetings, you're talking about the same thing, nothing ever gets done, people get disenchanted.
Could have been an email. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. We have different frameworks that we use and tools that we introduce to companies to really get them having traction on issues, being cohesive, having really positive conflict, so that
Tell me, what is that, positive conflict?
Positive conflict is, you know, everybody is on the leadership team feels like they can have an open and honest conversation. They can bring up concerns. They can bring up opportunities. Everybody discusses them in a way where there's respect, but they also hold each other accountable for results.
I like that, what you're saying, because to me, I don't know how to put this. I kind of like conflict, but I like conflict because if you don't get your part out, then we're never going to move forward. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Right? It's like, let me be real with you, and then let's find out where we go from here.
Exactly. It's like any relationship, you have to deal with that.
Exactly. Right? And so you do it this way, and you're open and honest, and at least you can have a dialogue, right? And then you could talk about it, and it's like, okay, well, let's figure this thing out, right?
Exactly.
And so that you help guide that within a certain company or situation?
Yeah, so we actually embed ourselves with the leadership team, and so we sit on their weekly leadership team meetings, and we help facilitate them. We introduce the tools, which is also, there's part of the toolkit talks about culture and really establishing so the company can communicate not just within the leadership team, but within the whole organization. This is exactly who we are. This is our target client. This is the area that we work in. This is the area we don't work in. This is who we're not going after. So it really clarifies who the business is and what they're setting out to do for all of the employees and how they communicate that to the broader world and their customers. So we have that side, but then also within that we have these frameworks that brings that leadership team into cohesiveness, and we start at the leadership team level, and then that gets rolled out to the rest of the tribe or the company, you know. And these tools are very simplistic tools, but they're very effective. So even within 90 days, it's so fun to have a new company come on board because you see this like energy and enthusiasm return to the organization because they're like, man, we're solving problems. We're getting stuff done. Like all this stuff that we keep talking about, we know we need to fix, and we haven't really been able to identify a plan and take action. Now we're moving forward. And so it's very, very rewarding.
And so you both are like a tag team with it. So you have your expertise, and then you'll have that part of the discussion, and then Anna, you have yours?
Yeah. So I come in on the financial side of it. So Better Built Business Financials. So we have a whole framework, involved with that too, that kind of goes in and just, depending on the size of the business, some business owners don't really understand the different channels that they have, in the business. And so just go in there and work with them on identifying where are the margins, what do they need to see, creating the scorecards, the KPIs, a lot of times they focus a lot on the KPIs that you can't change, it already happened. And so identifying KPIs that are drivers that, how many phone calls are you planning each week? How many phone calls, how many contracts do you have? Because if that number falls down, then that's going to affect your cash flow. That's going to affect the revenue. So those are the driving KPIs. So helping them identify that, cash flow, seeing that ahead of time. So a lot of business, especially in the growing phase, they run out of cash, not because they're not doing well, but because they're growing. And a lot of companies have a lot of cash, but that's probably because they're not growing. You know what I mean? They're not really, they're just kind of staying stagnant. So just really helping them, again, what does this mean? And then what direction do you want to go, and helping them create those decisions.
And that data you give isn't personal, right? It's not personal. It's just, okay, here's the math. Here's what it looks like. And if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you're going to run out of money. Like even with my company, we're scaling right now. We're growing. And then my part is like, okay, I got to make sure that we could do everything and fulfill it all. And then there's the other part was like when we need to go sell. It's like, but we have to make sure those things balance. Right. So because to me, it's like if my word is my word. And so if I sell something, I'm going to do it and make sure we have the team to do it. Shout out to Mandy over here. She's part of my team. Hi. And so, but it's like also, it's like, okay, then somebody comes in, and we just had our business partner meeting yesterday. It's like, okay, where are we at with sales? Because if we don't do this, and sometimes I get mad and I was like, well, I got to make sure we get it done. And they were like, sell, sell, sell. But as a holistic business or a holistic approach, I need his voice.
Yeah.
I need him to say that.
And that's 100% right. And that's why we pair Better Built Leadership with Better Built Financials and what we call business transformation, because it's all interlinked. So at the leadership strategy level, if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. And so we really help them dial into what are we doing? We take where do you want to be in 10 years? Then we work backwards. Okay, what does that mean? Like, where do you have to be in 3 years to hit that 10-year target? And then back in and say, okay, where do we need to be in the next 12 months? And then, okay, what are the priorities in the next 90 days? So it becomes very actionable and very focused.
And actionable, like, I've always heard, like, if you don't have anything to aim for, you're going to miss every time, right? You got to have that target. So you give actionable targets. And then what does it feel like for the company once they reach that? Is there a little bit of celebration that motivation continues on? It's like, we did it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you have the energy of completion, but you essentially set the next 90-day targets. And so you're always in this momentum of working toward that 3-year goal, your 10-year target.
I just think it's almost so cool. Sorry, because I'm thinking, like, with the two of you kind of coming together, it's like Karen creates that culture, reminds the business owner why you're doing it in the first place, and then creates the culture within the business. Like, okay, this is so exciting. We're loving this. We're doing this. Now we want to take care of our people, while you're coming in and taking care of, like, hey, don't forget about your bank account. And they get to do both of them together, which is like the foundation of business, which is awesome.
Yeah. And it's a loop, at the end of the day, you reach certain goals, but that goal is going to take you to a new level, a new season, I guess, and that season will look different. So it's not, it's like it doesn't just kind of go to wherever. You kind of come back and do these foundational things at this new level that you just reached.
Yes.
So it's like this never ending loop of improvement, but it spirals upward.
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And so we are running out of time. We got to go to the next guest. However, let everybody know where they can find out more about your business. Instagram, Facebook, website, however you do it.
Yeah. So for social media, we're on LinkedIn. We just started an Instagram page. So it's infancy. But otherwise, you can find us at BEIadvisors.com.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for the education and the story. I really appreciate it. And with that, we'll be back with some Lady Matadors from the softball team. We're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Citrine Law, LLC, a locally owned Yuma law firm where clients work directly with a local legal team. Citrine Law practices criminal defense, DUI defense, and personal injury law throughout Yuma County. Information is at citrinelaw.com.
For KAWC, I'm Alexandra Rangel. On Friday, hundreds of high school seniors across Yuma County will graduate. As the big day approaches, we've been speaking with students about preparing for the next chapter in life. For one senior, her creativity and love for animals are fueling her passion to pursue higher education.
My name is Darlene Chavez, and I am a senior at Gila Ridge. I feel happy. I'm glad that I get to go to AWC so I can do ceramics, because that's my new obsession, ceramics, everything ceramics, all in my mind 24/7.
Will you be going into the arts field?
Well, I'm like majoring in biology, but like arts in the side, I want to do like veterinary. So yeah, helping cats, helping dogs, all that.
Darlene's message to the graduating class:
never give up. Keep your chin up and never give up.
On behalf of KWC, congratulations.
North End Community Center is now accepting registration for the Senior Season Pass program. Volunteer instructors are on site to assist with art programs that include wood carving, painting in all mediums, and more. Tuesday mornings through October. Information at yumaaz.gov under Parks and Recreation.
I'm Mike Suba, and I'm a big supporter of KAWC. You're getting a great source of information about our community, about the people that are working and living here, and you start going, you know what, this is really a valued service. And that's the great thing, is you've got a partnership here. And I'm a big believer in partnerships, because The one thing I realized early on in life, I can maybe do a lot of stuff on a very limited basis, but when I start partnering up, it's amazing what we can do when we pool our resources. And so I hope that when people are listening to the station, enjoying the news broadcasts and the entertainment shows that are being presented, that they realize that you're not only the end user and enjoying what's being broadcast to you, but it can be a partnership too, where you can participate like I've discovered I can do and help get this service, enhance it, and provide even better programming. I'm Mike Suba, and I support KAWC.
Bopping to the new beats heard around the world, or relaxing to the tunes of memory lane. We are your non-commercial source of music. Run by volunteer hosts, this is KOFA Border Radio, 94.7 FM, 1320 AM, on the KOFA app, or at borderradioaz.org.
Oh, we're back already. All right. We were getting directions from Cecilia, but this is live radio, and this is what we do here on live radio. Welcome back, everyone. We are here with Rauni Gallegos. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
All right. You spell your name very interestingly.
Yes, I do.
Well, I guess not you. Your parents did.
Yes.
But and Alissa, and how do you say your last name?
Pinon.
Pinon. All right. And both of you are part of the Lady Matadors softball team, correct?
Yes, we are.
And sophomores?
Yes.
Does that mean sophomores like going into being a sophomore right now?
No. We're going to go into our third year, so we're going to be juniors.
Oh, you're going to be juniors. Yes. So are you leaving us then? Or
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Why do you start it off on a sad note? Oh, you're leaving.
Yeah.
So, okay. So where are you from originally, Ronnie?
I'm from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Okay. Yes. So how did you end up here in Yuma? Were you always playing softball and they scouted you? They're like, we need her.
So I started playing softball when I was 3.
3?
Yes.
That's incredible. I know soccer like at 3 because you can kick a ball, but 3 years old, you have a bat and you're like,
Yes.
oh, wow.
Well, you start with like T-ball and then you progress.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. All right.
So my recruiting process wasn't like the most traditional. I honestly wasn't really thinking about it. I didn't start my recruiting process till my senior year at the end of my high school season.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I didn't think I was going to play only because I didn't want to leave home. So distance was a thing for me to leave my mom. But actually, the reason I ended up here was my current roommate. We ended up on the same all-star team in New Mexico. And it was her dad that actually texted Coach Prickett, and he offered me right after that tournament. And that's how I ended up here.
And so explain that you were a little hesitant to leave mom, though.
Yes.
But you knew like this is something you wanted to pursue, so you had to weigh that out a little bit?
Yes, I always knew I wanted to play college softball. So I was always trying to get to the schools like around me to not be so far. But I knew if I said no to this offer, I was going to regret it. So it was best for me to go. And honestly, I love it here.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. So you found it, you got settled in. It's like you're away from mom, but you at least enjoy being here in Yuma.
Yes, I do. I love my 2 years here.
All right. And so how about you, Alissa? Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from El Paso, Texas.
Okay. So Texas. So how'd you make it your way all the way over here to Yuma?
So originally I was supposed to be with Coach P at Cisco College with my sister, who played her freshman year with Coach P. And then he got the job here at Arizona Western and invited my sister and I to come over here and play with him for her last year and my freshman year, and I was on board with it.
Okay. So how old were you when you first started playing softball?
I started a little late. I was about 8 years old.
8 years old. So not 3, but it's all right. You started and you enjoyed it. Was it something that mom said, "Oh, you got to get out of the house. You're driving me crazy," or is it like I want to go out there and swing a bat?
It was something my dad put me into, knowing that you could get scholarship out of college paid for it.
Wow, that early. I like that.
And so growing up, he always was very hard and told us that softball is going to get you through college, and it did. So,
yeah. So then what was it like playing in high school?
High school was fun. Definitely figured out that I do enjoy infield. I enjoy being a leader and in my own way, and I figured out what kind of person I am as a player and on and off the field.
So you said infield. So I know Scott came in and told us your positions. What position do you play?
I play second base here for AWC.
Second base, and how about you?
I play center field for AWC.
Center field. And those are positions that you enjoyed? You kind of chose those positions? Is that something you like?
I started off as a pitcher, and then in
pitcher.
high school, like the end of high school, I became an outfielder, and I love the outfield.
You love that. Why do you love the outfield?
I think just the freedom, being able to you can make really good plays out there. And then, I mean, we always say we're the last line of defense, so that's always fun.
See, I like the outfield when I play because I could just daydream a lot, but that wasn't a good thing. Yeah, it wasn't good for the team or whatever.
Now he's
and
like
it was
a playing in the dirt
yeah,
kid.
I was just like, yeah, cool. It's like I'm out here and nothing's really happening, and then oh man, something happened and I missed it. But all right, but right. So then when you get here, did you enjoy it, Alyssa? Did you like Yuma?
Oh, I enjoyed Yuma. It's a very calm city. Cute.
Big. Was it a culture shock coming from Texas at all?
Not at all. My city's probably the same, just a little bigger.
What about you?
Yuma's really similar to Las Cruces.
So both the places were similar. So not big shock. The traffic's not crazy where you're from, and
just
we live
less
20
people
minutes
here.
away from each other.
Yeah.
So you get here, and Scott had mentioned something about World Series or something. Tell me a bit about that.
So the World Series, we're actually going. This is going to be our second year going in a row.
Second year going. So let's talk about the first one real quick. So your team did well enough to make it through. So what kind of record did you have that first year?
We had a pretty even record. I don't remember the number off the top of my head.
That's all right.
But last year, our team, we were literally here for fun. We didn't think we were going to make it.
So tell me about that. What do you mean you're here for fun and you don't think you're going to make it?
We just really enjoyed playing softball. The season didn't start off like the greatest, but we powered through.
It was rocky in the beginning.
And then we finally got into a routine, and we were winning. And when it came to the regional tournament, we were like, let's just might as well have fun. Try make this moment last. And then we won the regional tournament, got our ticket punched to the World Series. And when we got there, we're just like, we did it, guys.
So okay, I'm trying to put something together. Now, is it because you relaxed a little bit and just let it flow? Because you said you kind of, let's just have fun. And then you're like, wow, I'm winning. And that's even funner.
I think
if that's a word, funner. I don't know. Mandy's going to look it up, but
it's
go ahead.
Not, it's more fun.
Okay, more fun.
Our talent all clicked at the same time at the right moment. So our momentum continued well to the regional tournament and into the World Series.
Okay, and so you're at the World Series. Where is the World Series held that first year?
It was held here in Yuma.
Here
Arizona.
in Yuma? You didn't even get to go anywhere?
No, we didn't.
Was that like a letdown, but still you're in there,
We were excited, yes, World Series, but we feel we didn't get the full experience of getting to travel and go somewhere new because we still woke up in our dorms and drove our own vehicles to the fields.
yeah. So where's the field at?
It was at the PAC.
At the PAC. So
Yes.
you're playing the World Series at the PAC?
Yes.
And it's it's right there.
That's
And there's
crazy.
downtown. I've been here before.
That's where my kids play Little League.
All right. So we're going to take a quick break real quick. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about this next World Series coming up because you do get to travel, right?
Yes, we do.
All right. We're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here at 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
It's a sunny day in Quartzsite with an afternoon high near 95 degrees. Winds becoming west-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour tonight. Clear and breezy with a low of 65 degrees in Parker and Yuma. Our afternoon high should be 97 degrees. Winds are calm, less than 5 miles per hour tonight. Clear with a low of 65.
There is so much advice about decluttering, like the Marie Kondo method, where you ask yourself, does this item spark joy? Well, donating a vehicle that you don't need anymore to KAWC and Border Radio is an easy way to help us bring you the programs that bring you joy. And it's a great way to declutter. Learn more at kawc.org/cars.
The Humane Society of Yuma announces the 2026 summer camp schedule for children ages 7 to 15 beginning June 1st. Campers will connect with animals while learning how to care for, understand, and advocate for animals of all kinds with 5 age-appropriate one-week programs. Details and registration at hsoyuma.com.
KOFA Border Radio doesn't sound like any other radio station in Yuma. We are a non-commercial source for music from around the world.
across the decades and local artists. Our hosts are volunteers. If you would like to get involved, send an email to music@borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here with Rauni and Alissa, and so we're getting to the point now. You're going to another World Series, right? And so you're doing it. Now, tell me a little bit about the culture this year, real quick. Was it different?
I think the culture this year is we all had the same mentality. I think all of the returning sophomores had the mentality to make it back to
We
the World
could do
Series.
it because we did it once. We could do it again.
Right. And so I think we just laid out our plan and how we know what we have to do to get there, and everyone else just like followed. So,
So then, what was the record this year? Can you remember that? No, either of you. It's okay.
No, we just go.
You
out there
just
and
know
play.
that's pretty cool. I like that. It's like we don't care. We're just going to go out and play, and we're going to win. And obviously, you did. Now, where do you get to go this time?
We're going to be in Oxford, Alabama.
Have you been there before?
Never.
Did you guys Google it at all? Did you kind of look into anything, what to expect?
There's a Buc-ee's.
What's that?
Buc-ee's.
There's a Buc-ee's. Oh, is that? Yeah, I've seen that on social media. I've never been to one, but you're excited about going to the Buc-ee's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow! So that's cool. Yeah,
America's
we're
gas station.
going to the World Series, but there's a Buc-ee's there, and then that's really exciting. And so we were talking a little bit about any major accomplishments or something that you felt special about this year, and I'll start with you.
One thing I felt that I did better this year than last year was probably hitting the ball harder, and over playing 2 whole seasons with an injury, or just continuing to push through because it was manageable, I guess you could say. But yeah, I guess that was probably my biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, so really it takes some gumption to be able to play through it. And you said it's manageable, but you also have to manage something,
Yeah,
right?
some
You got to
days
make
it's
sure you
harder
don't
than others.
and you got to make sure you don't really, make that injury even worse. So you have to play in a certain way, right?
Right.
Yeah, so how about you, Ronnie?
I would say just overall becoming better as a player, just so I can prepare myself for when I do transfer to another school. I did adjust from right field to center field. So getting the adjustment there again was nice. And my hitting, I feel like I've hit more solid this year as well.
So now you guys, you're done here. Where are you going after this?
So I'm not currently committed, but I am talking to a few schools, either back home at New Mexico or even in Texas.
Okay, so how long until you have to decide?
I have basically the summer.
You have the whole summer? Okay, so you're going to think about it, kind of really weigh it out?
Yes.
So how about you?
Same boat.
Same thing?
Yes. I
Okay.
have not committed yet, but I do have a couple schools in option.
So what are some of the things you look at to make that commitment? What are you weighing, right, between the different places?
For me, it's money.
Is there money?
Money, scholarship money.
Scholarship money, see what you get the most amount, and if they have a Buc-ee's, all right, and then
For me, it's scholarship money, and if they have my major.
your major, what do you want to major in?
I'm an engineering major.
Engineering.
Yes.
So then you got to make sure that you have that to be able to say, okay, I'll commit to this, but this is my path. This is what I want to do.
Yes.
And I didn't ask you, Liz, where do you want to major in?
I'm majoring in biology, but I want to use that to go into radiology after college.
Into radiology. And so then that also plays a factor in where you go as well, right?
A lot of schools have radiology.
That's pretty
biology.
common. Pretty common to have the biology, and then after that, go to the radiology program or something. All right. So you guys, when are you guys leaving for this World Series?
We are leaving on Friday at 3 in the morning.
Friday at 3 in the morning.
Yes.
So how long does it take to get there? Do you know?
We won't get there till 8 p.m. only because we have a 5-hour layover in Dallas.
Oh, okay. So you're flying.
Yes.
That's cool. So you guys pretty excited about it? The girls are, like, hey, we get to go do this, and there's a Buc-ee's, and then anything else cool there?
I'm pretty sure once we get there, we're going to go to an arcade and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Have a little bit of fun while you're enjoy it, rather than just driving down to the pack right here in Yuma. And you're like, all right, we get to have some fun. So, all right. So how you think you guys are going to do in the World Series?
I think this year, especially for the sophomores, last year was, okay, guys, we made it. And this year it's like, okay, let's make a statement.
Make a statement.
I believe we're going to be very fired up, and our goal is to get as far as we can.
So is the coach is saying that? He kind of puts his stamp of approval on that? We're going to make a statement this time?
Yes, and it's also, so last year during the World Series, our head coach actually didn't get to watch us because he was sick, so he didn't get to watch us. So this year, I think it's going to be very important because he's going to get to watch us.
Yeah, so you're going to knock it out of the park for the coach this year. Yes. All right. Thank you guys for being with us. I really appreciate it. You guys are going to do well, and then I will be following up with Scott and see how you guys did.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And with that, it's time for me to read this. What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. Want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornelas, Juan Garcia, Dave Reek, and Cecilia.
You can find out more about KOFA at borderradio@az.org or on the KOFA app. Stay tuned for KOFA's Midday Music.
And tomorrow's program, we are going to have Sandy Padilla with us, so make sure you tune in for that.
You can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/whatsupyuma radio.
All right. We will see everyone tomorrow. And remember, if you want to book a spot on this show, go to whatsupyuma.biz. Once again, that's whatsupyuma.biz. Click the radio link and click book me, and you could get your spot on the show. Thank you, guys, and we will see you tomorrow.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Citrine Law, LLC, a Yuma law firm practicing criminal defense, DUI defense, and personal injury law. Information is at citrinelaw.com.
This is Border Radio, KOFA Yuma. We can be heard on a radio at 94.7 FM and 1320 AM, on a computer at kawc.org, and on your phone with the KOFA app. We have been a service of Arizona Western College for more than 55 years.
Helping Hands of Yuma connects volunteers